on my personal journey over the last 6 weeks. The first couple weeks, I was almost like enthusiastic. Like, okay, I'm a work from home kind of person. I know exactly how to do what this is, and it's going to be fine. Our company is going to be working from home really easily, really quickly, and we're not going to have any disruption as far as our business is concerned. We're going to be able to, power through. And then the next couple weeks dragged on. So like weeks 1 and 2, even 3, like, okay, we're in it to win it. We're doing our Zoom happy hours with our staff. And then week 4 and 5 hit. And I don't know about you guys, but this is why I'm coming on to do this live right now, is that week 4 and 5 were like, whoa, how long is this going to be going on for? I don't feel like myself. I don't do the things I used to do. I feel like I'm not the person I was. My relationships are affected, and I'm lost. I'm struggling. And we don't have the normal outlets that we used to. We don't have, the folks at work that sit next to us where it's like, oh, you'll never guess what so-and-so did last night. Or we don't have our friends to just, go and grab a coffee with because nothing is open to go do that. In some places, it's really significant such that we're not even able to go and like sit somewhere under a tree with somebody because things are a little more difficult in some states than in others. I'm in California, so we're kind of in the middle, I suppose, but more toward the stay home as best you can. So what dawned on me, though, is that there's one thing that has enabled me to keep going relatively strong for the last 6 weeks. And I know that there are some people who have not been going strong for the last 6 weeks. And I think that there's a really specific reason. And I believe with my whole heart and being that it has to do with morning routine. That if you don't have work to go to, if you don't have school to take kids to, if you don't have those things that you're used to getting up for and doing, then why are you getting up? And what that leads to is significant depression. And there may not have been a pandemic when I went through this, but I personally experienced this really deeply. And the only thing that got me out of it was finally figuring out a morning routine. Hi, Whitney. Hi, Tom. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. And yeah, if you are just joining, go ahead and drop in where you are joining from so I can see. So that was really something profound that I dealt with, and that was really, really, really difficult. So much so that when the concept of a morning routine started, I'd never even heard of it before. I'd never had a morning routine. I was always like a late to bed, late to rise, take a shower, get off to work kind of person. But when I was at my lowest low, I had to literally write down in my morning routine, put feet on floor, walk to bathroom, brush teeth, because it was just so, the feeling of overwhelm of how am I going to get through this day was so deep that I couldn't power through it. But once I did, step by step, those little things of, okay, I'm going to get out of bed right now. I'm going to go brush my teeth. And then I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then I'm going to put on some clothes that will encourage me to go take the dog on a walk. And that was the way that I bit by bit by bit started to build something that looked like I'm getting out of bed today, and I'm not getting out of bed today because I have to go to work. I'm not getting out of bed today because I have a child to go take care of. I'm not getting out of bed today because I have a child to drop at school. I'm getting out of bed today because my life is worth it, and because there are things that I need to accomplish today. And that's where the excitement now of, okay, I'm going to get up. I'm getting up for me because I have things that I need to go do. And so I wanted to share that with you guys today. And, if you're hearing me, there's 4 people on, and this is kind of this is only my second Facebook Live, so I can't see all the people. But if you'll drop in maybe something that you're struggling with, or maybe you're not struggling, maybe everything's going great for you, or just where you're chiming in from, where you're tuning in from, would love to see you over there in the comments. I can see the comments on the side, so thank you very much for that. So that was around 2016, 17 that I really found myself in that place. And it was almost like a delayed postpartum depression. And I'm so glad that I now have this routine that will get me up in the morning and start my day, so that no matter what's happening in the world, if I got in a fight with my husband the night before, if there's a pandemic that's happening across the world and I can't go into my office, if something really bad just happened at work and it's nothing I can control, but oh my gosh, it has me down and paralyzed, it doesn't matter, because I know now that I am worth waking up and doing these certain things in the morning. And then once I get these things done, it's like an upward slide, like it takes me away for the rest of the day. And it's amazing. So we'll go with the first thing that I do every morning. The first thing that I do every morning is I write in a journal. And the things that I write in this journal starts with gratitude. I write down 5 things from the day before that I am grateful for. They can be big things, they can be small things. Lots of days it's the same thing kind of over and over because it's someone really showing up in my life. And I continue to be so grateful for that person every day. I'll tell you that I've written down technology more times than I can count over the last 45 days because I'm so grateful for Zoom. I'm so grateful for Facebook. I'm so grateful for all of these different things. If you're just tuning in, go ahead and say where you're tuning in from in the comments. I'd love to see who's on and where you're coming in from. And or if you are struggling with something specific, go ahead and put it in the box. I'd love to address that. So that's the first part of my morning routine is I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. Then I spent some time, probably a year ago, really defining what my personal goals were. Not just like in a, I want to accomplish this thing from a professional perspective in the next year. What's up, Brianne? But things about like my relationship. And I write those things down as if I'm already doing it. It's already happened in my life. And I'll tell you that during this time of living 24/7 with your family, there are 3 things. The first 3 things that I write down every day, I've written them down for an entire year. First thing is I'm filled with joy for today and the future. That means no matter what happens, I'm going to be filled with joy because something is going to happen today that's going to try and knock me off my joy. It's going to try and take me out. It's going to try and say, you don't get to be happy right now. You don't get to be smiling right now. And what I tell myself every day, first thing I do, I am filled with joy today and for the future. Second thing I write down in my gratitude every day is that, in my goals and in my goals every day is I support and love my husband through it all. Anyone that's married knows you got to write that down because not every day is a picnic. I'll just leave that one there. The third thing I write down is I give my best to my son. And I don't always give my best to my son, but I write it down to remind me that when I've put on too many Paw Patrols in a row, I'm okay to stop, reevaluate what's important to me, and turn a different direction. Remind myself who I am and who I want to be, forgive myself for not being it all the time, and say, I'm going to go and give my best to my son right now. Let's go on a bike ride. Let's go around the lake. Let's read a book together. Really don't want to play Star Wars Legos, but I'll try. So that's the third thing I write. Now there's 7 more things that I write, and I'm not going to bore you with all that today, but that's what I do first thing. Gratitude, number 1. Number 2 is I remind myself of my goals. So what does that mean? That means that every day when I wake up, I'm waking up with purpose because I have a purpose and I was made for a purpose. My purpose is not my work. My purpose is not my relationships. My purpose is not, I exist to be here and I'm worthy just as I am. I don't need the office. I don't need my friendships. I don't need relationships to bring me value. I am valuable outside of all of those things, which means that whether those things are doing well or doing poorly, I deserve to be able to wake up in the morning with joy and do the things that are important to me. Okay, so third thing I do every morning is I do a devotional. It's short, it's like one page. I happen to go to Saddleback Church. Maybe some of you are more into meditation or just spending time in quiet. Mine is a page that I read. It is commentary on a concept of God and how he interacts with our lives and how we're meaningful. And that grounds me even more because that goes back to my purpose in this world and in this life, and that I'm worthy no matter what. And it always has something in there that I need for that day. Okay, so it took me 4 minutes to do my journal. Unless I had an extra glass of wine the night before, it might take like 7 minutes. And then I read what God has to say about me and my life and my purpose here. And then I take some quiet time, usually not more than a minute. I pray. And then the next thing that I move on to is I plan my day. I say, what are the things that I want to accomplish today? Now, the joke here is that I have this beautiful planner. I love this planner. It's so pretty. And it has all the pages for me to go through and do all the nice things. And it plans my morning and what's most important to me, yada, 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 yada. Well, I only have my help for my son while I'm working from home 3 days a week. So here's what my Tuesday, Thursday planner looks like. Tuesday, Thursday looks like this. I'm blocking out chunks of time. You're going to see some Paw Patrol on here. You're going to see some PE, which is let's go to the lake. You're going to see hopefully some nap time, which has not been happening like it's supposed to. But that's what it looks like to plan a day when, well, let's call it COVID. Okay, this is COVID planning a day. The other one is when life is working a little bit more smoothly. Okay, so again, if you're just joining, go ahead and drop a question down in the box or something you're struggling with or just a hi and where you're coming in from. The last thing that I do in my morning routine is I move my body. I get outside my house and I go take a walk. And I kill two birds with one stone because the last thing that I do is I read. Well, I really don't read because you can't read while you're walking, but I listen to podcasts and I listen to books. And everything that I listen to is about positive. It's about personal growth. It's maybe some people's personal stories, autobiographies, biographies. And it's helping me to get my mind set ready for the rest of the day so that I have so that I've been nourished, so that my soul has been nourished, my mind has been nourished. I'm coming up with new ideas. I'm thinking about, oh, this person did that. I wonder if I could do this. And it's just really enabling me to make the most out of that day. So the first thing that we talked about was, if I can find it, I have a journal, write down 5 things that I'm grateful for, and then the 10 goals that I have for my life. They can be 10 personal goals. They can be 10 business goals. They could be a mixture of the two. Mine are a mixture of the two. And mine go, pretty far, pretty deep. And you put down things that maybe are a little difficult to capture, to gain. Okay. The second thing, well, that's 1 and 2, gratitude and goals. Third thing I do is I hear a little bit from God. What does God have to say about me? Let me check in and say, what does God have to say about me? Now, you may have a different faith background, so maybe you're having some meditation time and you're listening to the universe. Universe, what do you have to say to me today? The next thing that I do is I plan my day. What's my day going to look like? This is how it looks like in Pretty Land. This is what it looks like in COVID land, okay? And then the last thing I do is I take my phone, I take my headphones, and I walk out that door and I go usually about 45 minutes, and I'll tell you that over the last 3 years, 2 to 3 years, I've been able to read something like 120 books and countless podcasts because it's just me and the road, just being able to be out there. So if you're a parent, if you're a working person right now who's never worked from home and this is your first time working from home, if you're anybody who has woken up in the last 6 weeks and thought, why? Why bother? Who cares? Like, why am I getting up today? Everything will handle itself. What do I need to do? You need to do you. You need to love yourself and care enough about yourself because your creator cares enough about you that you're going to get up and you're going to live your life. And what I found out is that the best way to be able to do that is to live it, starting with a routine in the morning that gets your head straight. And it's hard to have your head straight right now. This is not an easy season. There are a lot of people struggling, but you can get through it. You can wake up every day and you can do it with purpose if you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's going to be a lot harder, because there are some of you on here that your first thing that you did in the morning was go to the gym. Amazing. I wish I was that person. That's not the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, but you don't have your gym anymore. And maybe they're not doing a virtual experience for you. Or the first thing you did was you dropped your kids off in the morning at school, or you made them breakfast even, but they're not going anywhere. So there's no rush to feed them breakfast because they're not going to go anywhere. They're just staying home all day long. Or maybe you were getting up and going to work. You're going to the office. You're excited to go get your Starbucks and get in and see your buddies at work, but now you're not. And maybe even now the first thing you do is you jump on a Zoom call, but it's kind of like the same thing. You're just racing to work. You're not feeding yourself before you pour out to everyone else the rest of the day. So the morning routine is so that you can feed yourself before you feed the rest of your family. To use it's like putting on your own mask before you put the masks on the families around you. So thank you so much for taking time to tune in. This is the first live on my new Facebook group, which is Living with Presence and Power. And really that's what I mean by that, is living with presence, with confidence, with the ability to stand up and say, I matter and I have purpose. And the power means if I know I have presence and purpose, then I have power in the things that I do. I can make change. I can be a leader for my family. I can be a leader for my company. And so I am thrilled that you joined us today. And I hope that you'll be with us the next time we do a Facebook Live, which God willing will be next week. And if you know anyone that would get anything from this live video, please share it. If you know anyone who would benefit from being in the group with some of the mindset positive content that I'm putting out there, please send them the link to join, and pretty much everyone gets approved. So that's it. I'm Allison Brown, Living with Presence and